even though he designates it for shlamim, which in normal cases that would be, this is very strict. This is money for shlamim, but here not. It already has a certain sanctity where the shlamim doesn't take effect on it. My timer. What's the reason?
Didn't we just say that you could buy taida?
Yeah. We're saying is, can you now use the money that you designated for the shlamim to go and buy apples and oranges and whatever else you want? And we say that you can. You have Meiser Sheni money, you bring it to Yerushalayim, you say, okay, this will be for this, and this will be for my shlamim.
So you could
actually take it out from the shlamim envelope and use it for other things. It doesn't become restricted.
It's not hekdesh.
No, it already has a certain sanctity where it's like the Gemara says, the layalima kedusas hashlamim lemechal kedusas Meiser Sheni. That shlamim is not, that designation is not strong enough to restrict the Meiser Sheni. Meisvei, where's the question?
It already has kedusha. The money has
But the kedusha of a shlamim is much greater than.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but still, once it has kedusha.
Smiling b'kodesh.
Yeah, but the pasuk by Meiser Sheni is Chol Shetava Nafshecha.
Okay.
So that has a certain strength also.
But then you remind that it's your money.
Right.
That was part of your taiva to increase it. Then why shouldn't it be a chal? All right.
You have all these great questions. We need a notebook. Meisvei, the Gemara has a question. Someone he sanctifies. He buys an animal that's not used for a carbon, and he buys it as a carbon. The wild animals are not carbonos. A deer or something. I don't know what's a buffalo, but whatever else they would use today. And he buys it for shlamim, and there's no such thing. There is no carbon like that. And he buys an animal for b'sar taiva, just to roast, just to have. Now the rule is that if you're buying animals from shlamim, if you're buying animals from meiser money, it needs to be a shlamim. You can buy other grains, but if animals need to be the karbanos, and then you eat them, the shlamim. So the Gemara says, Lo yatzar l'chulin. Normally, there's one way of getting your money out of Meiser Sheni. It's like a little tax loophole. But what you can do is you buy a shlamim that has a nice hide value. Important. And after you eat the animal, you then sell the hide. That hide doesn't go back into Meiser Sheni. That just goes right out of the Meiser.
Money laundering.
Yeah, that goes right out of the Meiser, and it goes straight back into your regular account. So that's normally what happens. Over here, because it wasn't really a shlamim, so what happens is the hide remains in the kedusha of Meiser. That's what we're saying. Lav l'meimra. But does this not mean the kani shlamim? What just happened here? We said before that if someone designates money for shlamim, it doesn't become a shlamim because the meiser is too strong. Now we just said that the hide is a status of a shlamim. We said that the hide is a status of meiser, which means the hide is more than that. The hide is a shlamim. The hide is a shlamim. I have to use it. It's more than meiser. I have to take the value of the hide and buy shlamim with it. That's a clear question on what we said, that the shlamim status doesn't take effect on the Meiser Sheni. The Gemara explains here, Itmar Allah Amarav, Loikani Shlamim. it actually does not become a shlamim. So what does it mean? What does it mean that it doesn't go out to chulin? Hachi kamar. Eina b'teiras latzis ar lechulin. It doesn't have that status. Rather, it just stays as Ma'aser Sheni. That's what it means. It stays as Ma'aser Sheni. So if it would have been an actual shlamim, it would have gone out to chulin. But here it stays as Ma'aser Sheni. My taima. Amarabba nasa kalekech shalach harisha. This is similar to someone that just buys an animal that not even as a sacrifice. He just buys an animal.
You could take the hide and sell it and buy food in your Yerushalayim.
That's exactly what he has to do. It's as if he bought something that he wasn't supposed to buy, and which what he needs to do is actually just sell it back and it becomes like the value of Ma'aser Sheni, and then he has to sell it back and buy food. Okay. Itmar. We have a statement of Amiram. So far, Rav Ami told us that Hamatvis Ma'aser Sheni L'Shlamim is like on Shlamim. Now we're going to see it's actually Machlaikas. Hamatvis Ma'aser Sheni L'Shlamim. If someone designates money for Ma'aser Sheni to buy sacrifices in Yerushalayim, Rabbi Yochanan Amar Kani, Rabbi Lezer Amar Kani. Rabbi Yochanan argues on what we said before. He says that it actually becomes a shlamim, but Rabbi Lezer says Kani, similar to what we said before. Vali b'd Rabbi Yehuda Amar Ma'aser Mammon Hedi to the Kuli Amalei Pligi, the Kani. If we say there's machlekes Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Meir regarding Ma'aser Sheni. If a person is allowed to give it to a woman and say, with this money, you should be betrothed to me. Hariyat Mekadeshes Sheni. Yeah, in Yerushalayim. Is it considered yours? Or is it considered that you're allowed to spend from God's account? Yes. Whose money is this? Yeah, but that means...
Does that have to be food?
Yeah, it's food. It's food. But you still have buying power that you can buy. So, but is it yours, or is it, let's say, you give your son the credit card to go because he's going shopping or something. Doesn't mean that it's his money. Doesn't mean that it's his money, right? It just means that he's allowed to use it in the store to buy his groceries. So, I don't know.
Store credit. They give you credit. You can buy anything in the store, but it's not really money.
Is that what it says?
No,
it says the stores, you have on credit, right? That's a good point. Everything is written down in the ledger, right? So according to Rabbi Yehuda that it's Mammon Hedyet, then it's clear that you can designate it for Shlamim. Because it's your money. You can use it to buy, to marry a woman. I shouldn't say buy. To marry a woman. For sure you can use it to designate as a Shlamim. Ki pligi ali b'der Rab Meir, damar meiser Mammon gavayahu. Machlekes. Rabbi Yochanan is according to Rab Meir that says that it's not really your money. It belongs to God, or to the temple, or whatever Mammon Kavaya means. Manda Malay Kani, according to Rabbi Lazar, that says it's not doesn't become shlamim. Rab Meir, he holds exactly like Rab Meir. It's not your money, and it's meant to chalasher tavan afshacha. You designated it for something, but that doesn't matter. It wasn't yours to designate. Manda Makani, the one that says that it does become a shlamim. Kiven the meiser karilei. Kiven the meiser. What's the aleph? Karav lei shlamim. Since you're allowed to bring it as a shlamim, kimatvis leinami tafis. So therefore, that was something that you were allowed to designate it for. This is similar to what Rabbi Chaim was saying. That the fact is that he's allowed to use this for shlamim, and now it adds a little holiness to it, so it becomes a shlamim as well. That was something you were allowed to buy with it. Meisvei hamatvis ma'aser sheni l'shlamim. Let's say someone does that. He says, he designates his Ma'aser Sheni for Shlamim, Kashuhu Paidan, when he redeems it. Ma'asef Aleim Shnei Chomshin.
What do you mean when he redeems it?
It must be that it's getting a mum. Even though I looked in the commentaries, I didn't see that that's what it says. But it must be that it has a mum. But what would happen is, if you do redeem, which sometimes, certain cases, you're allowed to redeem Ma'aser Sheni, you take the value off of it and you put it on coins. So if you do redeem it, so you have to add a fifth.
Here he says, if you break it down to smaller coins instead of redeem. You have
Right.
$100 bill, you break
Right.
it down to $10 bills or coins.
So, and on each exchange, that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Hamatfis mois ma'asasheni l'shlamim, kishehu paidan.
If you,
When you break it down, when you break down,
smaller denominations. By
so
designating
interesting.
other
So we're not
coins
talking
to
about,
replace the original one.
we're not talking about the
Actual
we're talking about the money. Talking about the money. So the money, when you redeem the money, thank you. This money, I'm looking through this. You have a better commentary. So,
Yeah, but usually when you exchange money, when you break it down, you have to pay another fifth.
I didn't think it was a fifth. I thought you had to give some sort of
Extra
coin
coin
to
just
the exchanger.
Right, but here it says a fifth.
2/5.
Well,
Here we say 2/5. So it says like this: Echad lehektish v'echad lemaiser. One of them is because it's a shlamim, and one is because it's meiser. Misav. Okay, so that's a question according to Rabbi Loza that says Laikani. What are you talking about? It's not a shlamim. It's just plain meiser. You're allowed to exchange it. So it says Misav divrei akoli. You think this goes according to everyone? Hamani Rabbi Yehuda. We said according to Rabbi Yehuda, everyone agrees that it could become a shlamim. With the sanctity, the whole machlekes was in Rabbi Meir. So we have a Mishnah or a Brisa that seems to fit with Rabbi Yochanan that says that it does become a shlamim. So don't worry, Rabbi Lazar would respond that goes according to Rabbi Yehuda, which we weren't discussing. We were arguing in Rabbi Meir's opinion. Okay. Let's see if we can turn the page, just so I don't feel like I'm very behind, just from my conscience. The Mishnah says, "Minayin la'omer harei alai taidash layavi ala menachulin." How do we know that if someone takes a vow to bring a taida, that he has to bring it from mundane money, not from meiser? Can't pay his debts with meiser. Where do we know this from? Talmud Leimer v'zavachta Pesach l'Hashem alekecha tzayna bakar. Now, a Pesach is not tzayna bakar. The Mishnah explains. V'lei Pesach ein haba min hakvasim min ha'izim. It's not brought from cattle, from cows. Bakar is the cows and the bull family. So why does it say tzayna bakar? It's coming to learn, to teach me something about other karbanos from a carbon Pesach. Ma Pesach davar shebechayva. Just like a Pesach is obligatory. And then you need to use mundane money to buy it. You can't use your meiser money to buy a carbon Pesach, which we didn't explain where we know that from, but that's what we're accepting right here. Also, all karbanos need to come from chulin. That's a source that you need chulin money. This clause was not necessary to state. We already said that in the beginning. But why do we say it? Because we want to conclude when the Nesachim, b'chol makam layavi ela menachulin, and Nesachim is always needs to come from chulin. Okay. The Gemara asks, Pesach gufei minalan. We learned all sacrifices from the carbon Pesach, but where do we know the Pesach from? The Tanya was taught in a Bais, Rabbi Lezer, Menachem Pesach l'Mitzrayim, Menachem Pesach l'Dairos. We have Pesach in Mitzrayim, the first lamb with the blood on the doorpost. And we have Pesach throughout all the generations, which is some differences. Ma Pesach Mitzrayim la'ba ela menachulin, just like when they were in Egypt and they brought the Korban Pesach. They didn't have Meiser money because Meiser is only in Eretz Yisrael. So, Af Pesach Amalidairos la'ba ela menachulin. Also, for all generations, it needs to be brought from chulin. That's Rabbi Eliezer's opinion. Amalei Rabbi Akiva says, "V'chidan and efsher mishi efsher." How can you learn cases where it's possible to bring from Meiser from a case where it was never possible?
Teacher?
Yeah, isn't that great? You have two stories of the same, similar story. So, you don't learn like that over there. You didn't have even the possibility. It wasn't like there was a rule against it. Amalei Afishi Efsher. Rabbi Eliezer says even though it's not possible, but Raya Gedoyla even Ilmani it's still a good proof, and I'm going to learn from it. In other words, I do learn Efsher, Mishi Efsher. Chazer Rabbi Kiva v'danei Menachem. Rabbi Kiva returns and he says another point. Mala Pesach Mitzrayim shkein ein toin matan damim ve'imum legami mizbeach. You can't compare the two. Over there was no mizbeach. You didn't put it on the mizbeach. And a shlamim or a sacrifice. Yeah, meiser you can use for a korban that's put on the mizbeach. So over there in Mitzrayim you couldn't use meiser. It wasn't on the mizbeach. Ten Pesach Dersh, turn Matan Dam Beimum Legam Mizbeach. Now it's different. It makes it easier. You can use meiser for. You should be allowed to use meiser. I get that you're saying that you can't compare, but I have a pasuk that says that you should do the service in this month, this service in this month. Whenever you do the Pesach, it needs to be exactly like this, and over there you couldn't use meiser. You can't use meiser further. Okay, let's stop over here.
Well, the Cuban answered him very nicely. You very respectful.
Yeah.
You say, I say. He said.